Oh, hi there. I'm Dark Shades, broadcasting out of the east of England. I just wanted to do a quick video and please share because if you don't share, no one knows I exist. And I just kind of feel as though other people would benefit what I've got to say. And the only way they can know I exist is if you share it. So you can share, you can subscribe, you can like. So really, I wanted to talk about the side effects of lockdown, and I don't normally do that on this channel, but I thought it was really appropriate because there are so many side effects. Because not only are we locked down, but also when we turn on the news, the goalposts keep moving. There's so much inconsistency. The information seems unreliable. Sometimes we can be at home and we feel as though we're tearing our hair out trying to make sense out of nonsense. So I thought I would do this video on this channel because it's very important, in terms of our mental awareness and mental stability. Because when you're thinking about, you're looking at a situation from the inside and you feel kind of trapped, because a lot of us, we feel trapped in our homes. Yes, we're allowed to go to the shop or we're allowed to go for a walk, but what are we actually thinking when we do that? Are we thinking, oh yes, I can go to the shop, but supposing I catch something, supposing somebody sneezes on me, supposing somebody touches me, supposing I touch the basket and it's infected, or the boxes, or whatever it is that you're buying, you're constantly trying to protect yourself from catching the infection. So even though, yes, you can go to the store, you can go to the supermarket, you can go to any essential place, it doesn't stop you from thinking about all of what can happen to you in the worst case scenario. It also means that even with your friends, you're afraid to touch them. Sometimes you don't want to talk to them because you're not in the right frame of mind. You feel a bit fed up, you feel a bit down, and you don't want to transfer that mood onto them. So you tend to isolate yourself and have social withdrawal, which isn't good either. So must need to be aware that it's okay. It's okay not to feel great, as long as you don't dwell on it. It's okay to be a bit apprehensive about going to the supermarket, but just try and make it a good experience. Don't dwell on the negative. Just make sure you wear your masks, put on gloves when you go, wash your hands, put on gloves, make sure you pick up everything with your gloves on. And I know with the mask, some of them they cover your mouth. Try and get one of those transparent ones so that people can see you smiling. They can actually see your expression and you don't feel so alien. A lot of us, when you've got those masks on, you can't, all you can see is the eyes. The eyes don't look very appealing sometimes. People are just either staring, or you just get a feeling that they don't want to acknowledge you, and then you kind of step back. And so it's a very alienating, or it can be an alienating experience. So it's about turning things around and making the experience much better and easier to communicate. Because once you've got a mask on that's like perspex, yes, they do fog up, but at least you can see people's expressions and people's mouths, and to me, it's a bit more user friendly. Um, a lot of people, they still don't feel safe even if they've had the vaccine, because you're given the vaccine, then you're told, oh, you can still be contaminated, you can still contaminate, and you kind of think, so what is the point? You have the vaccine hoping that you have a little bit of freedom, but you don't. And then some people say it doesn't kick in until 21 days, and then you've got to have the second vaccine, and it's just like a bloody nightmare. You still can't see your way out, in the near future, and that might dampen your spirit. So you have to kind of think about, how do I get through that? On top of that, you have the economic uncertainty if you haven't been able to work. That doesn't help. You've got wondering how to pay your bills, wondering this, wondering that. It's difficult. How do you lift your spirits when you're feeling like you just don't know what to do? I think I think the worst thing you can do is alienate yourself. And I think even if you use Zoom or Skype to get in touch with your friends. And most people are feeling the same. It's okay to tell your friend you're feeling down. Sometimes it's good just to have that rant, both of you. Just rant and curse the government, curse the virus, curse everything. Get it off your chest. And provide, make sure you're talking to people who have got similar experiences to you, so you can talk about how you're feeling and what you would like to be different. um yeah, there are a few options. You've got FaceTime, you've got WhatsApp video, you've got Telegram video, you've got Microsoft Teams, you've got Skype, you've got Zoom. So you've got quite a few options. When you digital message people, it's not the same. You don't get a feel of what exactly they're going through, what they're feeling, what their facial expressions are like. Anybody can write anything. It doesn't mean that you know what what's going on with them. And maybe you don't want to know what's going on with them. Maybe you think I've got enough on my own plate. But sometimes just sharing is caring. Um, yeah, the more you're kind of locked down, the more you're apt to stay away from people. You kind of distance your people, like I said. You stay out of touch. You find that you've got, and the thing is a vicious circle, because the more you stay out of touch, the less you have in common. And and then because you haven't got anything in common, it can put you in a bad mood, and you don't want to put upon friends, like I said, and you just don't really want to talk sometimes. But respect your process. It's okay. It really is okay. A lot of people are going through the same thing. A lot of people, they put on a smiley face, and then when they put down the phone or whatever, they break into tears. A lot of people are oversensitive now. A lot of people, they break down for the slightest little thing. It's a part of the process. And it's about being patient with each other. Talk to people who share your interests. These are some of the solutions. Set boundaries. So if you do decide to talk to somebody on Skype, on WhatsApp video or FaceTime or whatever, make sure you say, look, I've only got 15 minutes or I've only got 10 minutes. If you go over that, fine, if it's flowing, but give yourself in advance a time frame so you don't feel awkward, and you've only got this amount of time to actually engage with someone, and it might make it easier. Share your feelings, and don't be afraid to leave. If you really are not feeling it, you can say, look, it's been lovely talking to you, but I really do need to go now. So just respect your own boundaries and take care of yourself and what you're feeling. So I did have a friend who was saying that, I asked how she was, going to spend her birthday, and she said, oh, she has to spend it by herself because her son is can't see her. And I said, why can't he see you? I said, because he lives up the road, but it's same tier. I said, but you're allowed to have a bubble, a support bubble. But it's like she got confused with the support bubble and the urgency, and whether or not it's an emergency, and whether or not the travel is essential. So rather than thinking of herself as being on her own and therefore being vulnerable and lonely, she was concentrating, oh, it's not essential for him to come to see me. It's not, I'm not an emergency. And you can see how people can misconstrue um, the laws or the rules or whatever it is. And, she could end up feeling totally depressed and down just because she's misunderstood the rules. If you're on your own, you are allowed a support bubble, a friend. You just make sure that person, you write it down somewhere that this person is in your support bubble. You only have one. In her case, it would be her son, and it's absolutely fine if he stopped. The police just, look, I'm going to see my mother. She lives on her own, and they'll, okay then, son, go ahead. You know, they don't expect you to go miles and miles out, like to Scotland or goodness knows where else to see your support bubble. But providing you live in a reasonable distance, maybe 10 miles or 15 miles, maybe that's okay. I'm not quite sure what the distance would be. But as long as you're alone, you are allowed a support bubble. So all I'm saying is that, you don't have to suffer on your own. Try and engage with people who've got the same interest as you, and just wear one of those Perspex masks so you don't feel alienated. Smile more and see if it will uplift your spirits. And that's all for now. Bye bye.